This is the perfect everything pinka makeup look, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how to do this. I actually was playing around in some makeup the other day and came up with this look, and it reminded me that I need to be girling to the best of my abilities, and sometimes that includes playing with makeup just to play with makeup and seeing what you come up with. Let me know what you guys think of this tutorial, and we're gonna hop right into it. Every good makeup look starts with skin prep, so to start we are gonna go in with the POV Beauty Drip It. And I am working this all over my face. And I like to bring this down my neck. We like our neck to have a little bit of love and care as well. And then once I moisturize this all into my skin, I like to sit for about 2 minutes and just give this some time to soak and absorb into my skin. And then next I am going in with the POV Beauty Whip It, which is a nice whipped moisturizer, which isn't too heavy on the skin while still providing that much needed moisture. So while this is absorbing into my skin, we're gonna move into my eyes, and for that I'm gonna bring you a little bit closer. We are very up and close and personal now, but to start off we are going to go in with an eyeshadow base. I'm just going to use some concealer, LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm using the shade Espresso, and this is just going to add a nice even solid base for my eyeshadow. I am going to go in with this Morphe M173 brush to blend that out, and it's just a nice dome brush that's really condensed. It really just helps to blend it out. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Huda Beauty Easy Bake, and this is in the shade Sugar Cookie. I'm gonna tap it on the back of my hand just to diffuse out some of the brightness, but I just want to set that concealer into place. To start off with the eyeshadow look, I'm going to use this nice angled brush. This is from Menage. It's like an angled shading brush, and I just like the fact that it can get perfectly into where that transitional shade should be. For the transitional shade, I am going to use the Juvia's Place Bronzer Duo in the shade Deep Dark, and I am going to use this top shade up here just to act as a nice transitional shade while we are working with some bright colors, and it just makes blending easier later on. As you can see on my eye right now, this one just has a little bit more warmth in that corner. So this is the star of the show. It is from Moonslice Beauty, and it is their Celestial Crush Eyeshadow Impressed Pigment Palette. This is what the inside looks like. It has nice bright colors, which I absolutely love for playing in makeup. To start off, we are going to go in with this shade right here. It's more like a nice chocolate brown color. The shade name is called Brownie, and I'm going to go in and add that to my outer corner just so we have some more dimension in there before adding in the star of the show. To blend that out, I'm going to go in with this Morphe M33 Eye Blender brush, and this is just really nice for getting into that corner and also having a nice precise application. And I'm just slightly bringing that in just a little bit. And remembering where I place my brush first is going to be the most pigment, so I'm making sure to focus that on my outer corner and just blend it in this way. I actually really love this eyeshadow palette so much. It really inspired a lot of creativity in me, so I went ahead and ordered a few more eyeshadow palettes from them just off of their website, going to see what they had, and they had a bundle that was like $40 off what it would normally be all separate, so I ended up grabbing that just because it reminded me that playing in makeup is so much fun. Even if you're just doing it as a hobby or something to do, it just reminded me of that creativity that I really fell in love with during the pandemic when my best friend and I would like do makeup Mondays and do our makeup together. It really pushed me to do makeup looks that were different and not the normal soft girl, no real shadow, just some bronzer in the corner that I would normally do all the time. So when it reminded me of that creativity, I was like all for it. I am gonna take this Morphe M303 eye packer brush, and I'm gonna use this to pack on that pink color into my eyelid. For this, I'm going in with this deep pink shade. It's called Berry in the palette, but just in case you have something that's similar, it looks like this. I'm going to swipe into the color to really pick up every ounce of that pigment and pack it onto the brush, and I am going to mainly focus this on my eyelid area and a little bit more towards the front. And as you can see, it has a nice bright pigment, which is exactly the look we're going for. And if you wanted a true like really bright pack of color, you could put some concealer on underneath there and then pat this on top, and then it would really be like a cut crease moment. I'm not really going for that. It's gonna give cut crease, don't get me wrong. I'm not going for like that traditional concealer cut crease moment. There's also a little bit of fallout underneath my eye, and this is why I like to do my shadow first, because I would probably be freaking out if I had my full face done. I know you can put some setting powder under there to catch the fallout and then wipe it away, day. But I'm not the most perfect when doing my eyeshadow, so sometimes I'm like, wipe that off, try that again, especially when I'm doing new looks. And so I like to get the shadow out the way first and get it to a place where I really like it, and then we can move on to doing the rest. Okay, so this is looking just the way I like it right now. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe M331 brush, and this is an eye blender brush that is a little bit more pointed, but I'm gonna go in and not add any more shadow, but I'm just gonna go in and blend those edges just a little bit so it's nice and smooth the way I want it. And I'm also going to go back in with the M333 brush that we used a little bit earlier that has brownie on it. I'm not adding any more color, but I am just kind of reinforcing that color on the edges for the perfect blend. I'm gonna go in with a paper towel and just clean up some of that fallout. This is what we're looking like right now. I really like this look. I feel like it has that nice pop of pink without being too bright, in my opinion. And next in the palette, I'm gonna mix this milky color as well as this crush color, which is just like a little bit of a brighter pink. A pink that's not quite as deep, but a little bit lighter, and mixing these two colors gives me that perfect look. And I'm gonna kind of blend it up and out. I'm also going to go in and reinforce that because I know when I do my concealer and everything, it's not going to be quite the same once I put everything up there. So we're going to go in and touch that up a little bit later. But now we're going to get into the whole face. To start off, we're going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. Ever since I started using this, I can't stop using this. I've really been loving this for oil control. And so I've been using this mainly in my T-zone, a little bit outwards, and around my mouth. I'm going to give that a few minutes just to dry down. I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm, and this is in the shade Universal, which is just like this nice sheer translucent matte shade. It has no color to it. To apply that to my face, I'm going in with the Real Techniques 242 brush, which is just like this nice flat kitten paw brush, I think they describe it as. And focusing this again on my super oily areas, especially in my smile lines and around my nose. I also like to do it to my forehead. I like to go in and blend this out with my fingers as well, just because I feel like that gets the most smooth application, and giving some time for that to settle in. One thing I have noticed is when I'm not rushing to do my makeup and I let each step settle in really nicely before moving on to the next one, my makeup comes out so flawless. Next, I'm gonna go in with this Essence Jelly Grip Under Eye Primer, which I think is so genius, but this is a drugstore find. You can find this at Sephora. It's a primer to go underneath your eyes to add a little bit more grip under there, and it's designed specifically for underneath your eyes. So I've been trying this out, and so far nothing bad to say. Next, I'm going in with the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. This is in the shade 15. I know normally I use 14, but during the summer 15 is the perfect shade. 15 is probably like the perfect shade all year if I'm being honest, but 14 has a little bit more of a red undertone. I'm going to once again blend that out with the Morphe M173 brush, and as you can see, it blends so perfectly. For my skin tint, I'm going in with the Ami Colé Skin Enhancing Tint. This is in the shade Rich 2, and I'm just going to apply a little bit to the back of my hand. Use my Morphe M109 brush, and I like to apply this all over my skin. To blend this out, I'm going to use the Sephora Pro brush. This is in the number 70, and this is just going to perfectly buff out this skin tint all over. Making sure to buff that in my hairline. I can touch up the baby hairs later. So once again, y'all know we're going to give it a few minutes to settle down. While we're doing that, I'm going to talk about our concealer for the day, which you guys know I use all the time. It's the one I grab, but I have a lot that I want to be trying coming up soon, so we might be switching it up. For concealer, we are going to go in with the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Concealer, and I'm going to use this underneath my eyes, using this on my nose, between my brows, above and below my lips. And this is every place where the light normally touches on my face. I'm pretty sure I've used this entire concealer. I can maybe get a little bit more out of here. And while that dries down, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Collection Bronzer Stick. This is in the shade Life's a Beach, and I'm gonna use this to add a little bit more warmth to my face. Ever since I got this product, I honestly haven't used any of my other bronzers or normal contour shades, but I also have started like adding it down here on my chin, and then adding a dot right here, because I noticed normally with my skin it's a little bit deeper right there, and then just a little bit on the nose. You guys know how I feel about nose contours, so we're just doing a little bit, just a little bit. And then also down here on my jawline, when I want like a full beat, I'll add a little bit there. To blend that all out, I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. cream blush and bronzer duo and just go to town and blend everything in. And I'm gonna add a little bit more of the bronzing stick to the middle of my forehead right there. I feel like this e.l.f. brush makes blending bronzer, contour, and blush so easy, and it's so handy that it's a 2-in-1, especially when it comes to travel. Not to mention the Sephora collection bronzer stick blends out so easily and beautifully. I feel like this bronzer stick was the first true bronzer I've had that's worked on my skin, whereas normally I go for more of a cool tone contour shade. To blend out my concealer, I'm gonna go in with the Amicole concealer brush, which is just like this nice dome shaped brush that has the perfect angle. Hopefully you guys can see the shape. I'm gonna bring that concealer up and out just a little bit, blending out my nose as well. One thing about me, I really love a nice strong forehead highlight. I know a lot of people sometimes don't add concealer on their forehead, but I really love a forehead highlight. I think it's so beautiful. I like to blend mine out so it doesn't look like splah, but I also really like for it to be bright and like I like for it to be a focal point on my face. Going back in with the brush I use for bronzer just to make sure everything's perfectly blended. And then I like to go back in with that brush I used to blend the bronzer and blend out the edges. So now I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This is in the shade Deep Cinnamon, and this is a nice brightening concealer for me. It adds a little bit of brightness, but not too much brightness. I don't want to give jump scare. And while that's drying down, I'm gonna go in with the blush. So for this look, I kind of want to do something that leans a little bit more pink than my normal peachy. I'm gonna mix these two blushes. This is the Huda Beauty Liquid Blush Filter, and this is in the shade Strawberry Cream, and this is in the shade Guava Pink. This is Intense Guava, this is Strawberry Cream, and so I'm going to add Strawberry Cream right here with like 4 dots. And then I'm gonna add in Intense Guava up here since it's a little bit more electric. I'm not gonna use too much of it, but we are gonna build it up if we need to. Once again, taking that blush bronzer duo, I'm gonna go in with the blush side. It's a little bit bigger and fluffier, so I'm gonna use this to blend out the liquid blush. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of both of the blushes. I feel like this mixes to the perfect pink to match my eyeshadow. Not that I wanted it to be super matchy-matchy, but I wanted it to complement each other at the very least. I'm gonna blend out that brightening concealer. Now to set this, I'm gonna go ahead and set this with some powder. I did not need to hit it that hard. I'm gonna go in with the Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie Easy Bake Powder. I was like, what am I trying to say? I'm gonna use the Say Fluffy Powder Brush, and I'm going to literally set that concealer. But before I do that, I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of the blush brush just to make sure that everything's perfect. I'm also gonna do this everywhere that I place concealer, so my forehead, down to my nose, above my mouth, and below on my chin. Now I'm gonna take Ube Birthday Cake in the same powder, it's just a different shade, and I am going to use this to bake underneath my eye. But I'm mainly gonna focus this under my eyes and on the bridge of my nose. If I'm honest, I did not mean to put this much powder on this side, but everything happens for a reason. We're gonna work with it. For my powder bronzer, I'm gonna go in with this Juvia's Place bronzer. We're gonna use that deeper shade here, and I'm gonna use a Real Techniques brush. This is it's actually a blush brush, but this is brush 400, and I'm gonna use this to set all of the powder or the cream. What am I saying? I'm using this to set all of the cream bronzer that I used before. And then I like to like smush this brush so it looks like this. Get some of that product and use it to set my nose. You absolutely could use a smaller brush, but I don't know. I've just been doing that lately. Also like to really accentuate like this bridge of my nose. I really like a sharp like bronzer contour look right there. I don't know, I've just been noticing very small things I really like about makeup, and that is one of them. Like I like accentuating my natural nose shape, so it's makeup, you can do what you want, you can have fun. And I'm gonna go back in and reinforce that inner tear duct color Now I'm gonna wipe off that excess powder with this Real Techniques 200 brush, and I'm just gonna blend the edges of that eyeshadow out just a little bit. For my blush, I'm gonna mix together 3 colors. I'm gonna go in with the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Divine Blush. This is in the shade Paradise Venus, and I'm actually gonna mix it. This Juvia's Place Blush Duo in Volume 4. I'm gonna mix all 3 of these colors together, and it's gonna give me that perfect look I'm going for. This is like that perfect peach reddish terracotta. Child, it's like every color under the sun, but that's the normal blush look I really like. But then these 2, I just bounce it on there a little bit, and it just adds a nice electricness to the color. And I'm just sweeping that in underneath my eyes, and I like to swipe it on my nose just a little bit as well. This is such a fun look for me. I love it. It makes me feel like a girl. So now I'm gonna go in with my setting spray. I'm gonna use the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm, just because I kind of want to like all matte look with this. I feel like no dew. Like if it was dewy, it would just be a lot for me. I think I'm gonna go in with a super duper matte spray. That was a lot. I like to dry it with the fan halfway and then let it air dry the rest of the way, and I feel like that gives me the best set ever. Ah, I'm obsessed. Okay, we need mascara. I'm gonna go in with the Lancome Curl Goddess, and I'm gonna use this on my top and bottom lashes. I'm putting some on, but I'm not putting on a ton because we're gonna go in with some false lashes for this. And I just want enough where they blend in seamlessly with the falsies. I'm not trying to do like full mascara moment. And I like that it has a nice way for you to hold the tip of the mascara. So I think I'm gonna go in with these Juvia's Places. Juvia's Place has been all over this makeup look today. Juvia, but Juvia's Place Nubian Lash Aziza. I love their lashes. I am not a fan of any lash that has like a thin band. I honestly, it'd be tearing up on me, but this lash is like so perfect. This is my go-to whenever I put on a false lash. I love it so much. I'm gonna use the Salon Pro 30-second hair bond glue. Is this lash glue? No. Am I using it? Yes. So yeah. And to help this not stick to my bottom lash, I like to look up. This is of course really risky if you have eyes that water, but yeah. But see how much more like lashes just really can complete a look. If you don't know how to do eyeshadow for real, which I'm not the best at eyeshadow, I'm trying to practice it more to get better. But if you don't know how to do it for real and you just throw on a lash on top, it can really cover up anything. I'm going to take my powder puff that I used earlier, and I'm gonna just powder down my lips. And I'm gonna go in with the YSL Kiss Shaper. This is in the shade 110. You guys know this has been my go-to, and I'm going to line my lips. And let's be real, I'm gonna overline them just a touch because yeah. I did that once a long time ago and I just never stopped. Here is my sharpener. Sharpener. And because my lips are two-toned, I kind of like this look right now. I'm just blending out those edges. I'm going to go in and mix Toffee and a Mauve Moment. These are both from Juvia's Place. And I'm going to mix these on my lips for the perfect color in the middle that I'm going for. I'm going to start with Toffee, maybe. I think I'm going to start with the Mauve Moment. And as you can see, it's very matchy-matchy to the eye look that we have going on right now. And then Toffee is like a nice brown. And I'm just gonna swipe that on top. And that gives me the perfect lip I'm going for. You guys know I was on a glossy lip kick for a while. I'm just gonna go reinforce that lip liner. And that's exactly the lip I want. Yeah. Ah! Doing makeup is so fun. This is the perfect lip. Actually, hold on. I might need to do this lip combo more often. I think we're done. I'm gonna touch on my edges and then we're gonna wrap this up. And that is the Everything Pinka makeup look. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I had so much fun doing this makeup look. I actually did this when I was playing around in makeup the other day and I was like, I need to record this for my crew, but also for me, because I probably am gonna want to do this again and I want to know exactly what I used, how I used it, and all the things. This is literally screaming everything Pinka. Everything Pinka has become my favorite song to get ready to, and this is like the epitome of Mana Leo. Like, I feel like she's gonna follow this tutorial one day. I mean, I don't know, but girl, if you're here, drop a comment. I don't know. It just reminds me that makeup is fun and I want to be the best girl. Sometimes when I'm not playing in makeup, I'm not girling to the best of my abilities, and I feel like this was a reminder that I need to girl to the best of my abilities. But let me know if you guys want more fun makeup looks like this, especially with those new palettes coming in. Definitely gonna be trying some new things. Let me know what you guys think. Would you guys have changed anything about this look? Let me know. I feel like it's bold, but not too bold on the eye. The blush is also the star of the show, and I really love the lips. I don't know, guys. I kind of just want to go on a walk. Like, this makeup look has to be seen in the wild. I feel like I want to go on a walk, go to the grocery store. I don't know, something. And I will see you next time. Bye, girl.
Tell me, have you seen her?